Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'm going to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. And as always, I'm going to give much peace, love, and salutation to the elect scattered across the four corners of the earth, pushing this word with all truth and sincerity, as well as to the large multitude that believes upon the 144,000's testimony, which consists of men, women, and children. To you all, I say shalom as well. I'm the brother Tazamah from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back with another quick lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying. And today's lesson is going to be entitled, Discretion Shall Preserve Thee. All right, discretion shall preserve thee. All right, now, you know, when you read the books, I rather say, for example, of like Proverbs, the book of Job, Psalms, Wisdom of Solomon, Sirach, you know, those particular books there, those are considered, you know, Ecclesiastes. These are the wisdom books, if you will. Now, the scriptures itself is all, you know, all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's all profitable for our learning. You know, all the scriptures, you know, the Old Testament, New Testament, the Apocrypha, everything that is written aforetime was written for our learning, and it's all the inspiration of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, you know. But in particular, you know, just looking at, you know, the book of Proverbs or the book of Psalms, the book of, like I said, Job, Sirach, Wisdom of Solomon, these are books that teach us how to walk and how to move, you know, in everyday scenarios and situations. Okay. Now, I was reading the book of Proverbs, and, you know, when you read, I want to say it's in Proverbs, the second chapter, it tells you that it says that discretion shall preserve you. Okay. And what is discretion? So I have discretion here pulled up in the etymologyonlinedictionary.com. So it says circa 1300 from discretione, ability to perceive and understand. Okay. So from the 1300, it means the ability to perceive. Okay. To perceive something means to see something. It says and understand, right? It says mid 14th century moral discernment. Okay, you make a moral discernment about something. Okay, so pretty much it's an action of judging. All right, every single day that we live, all right, we are judging something. Okay, when somebody says, "Oh, you can't," why are you judging? Well, if you're not judging, then that's the reason why this world is in the position, you know, that it's in right now, and the people are acting the way they're acting it's really due to you know, the lack of judgment, you know, and the judgment judgments, statutes, and commandments are written within the scriptures. Okay, particular things that are pleasing to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, particular things that he wants you to do, and particular things that he doesn't want you to do, particular things, how you should maneuver and how you should act when you're in this particular scenario situation versus how you shouldn't respond and act if you're in this particular scenario situation. All these things are dictated by the judgments that you make upon them. For example, if you driving down the street and you see a red light and you got a green light to your left and to your right, the judgment written or the judgment that you should have in your mind would be, let me stop, because if I don't, what could happen? I can get hit by a car, you know? And like I said, that's a major judgment, but, you know, it goes down to little things. It goes down particular things on you know, how you speak. You know, it goes down to judgments based upon particular scenarios and situations that you may find yourself in, right? So it says moral discernment, ability to distinguish right from wrong. You see, so that's literally what discretion is the ability to distinguish right from wrong. And how do you find what's right and what's wrong? You find what's right and what's wrong via the scriptures. Okay, not based upon, you know, necessarily what man says is right and what man says is wrong, but what does Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai say was right and what's wrong? And you find that written within his scriptures, in his laws, statutes, and commandments, within the prophecies, you know, within, you know, Proverbs and things of that nature, right? It says circa 1400s, prudence, okay, sagacity, right? Sagacity, if I'm saying that correctly, regarding one's conduct. Okay, prudence regarding one's conduct. And what is your conduct? How you walk. You see, it says from Old French, discretion, and directly from medieval Latin, discretionum, nominative discretio, discernment. You see, power to make distinctions. You see, when you make a distinction about something, you see you're comparing or you're distinguishing two things. And your distinction is like, okay, if I do this, this would happen. But if I don't do this, this would happen. Right? In classical Latin, separation. Judge. When you have a separation, you're judging something. You're putting two things on one side. You're putting one thing on one side and you're putting something else on another side. You're making a clear separation about something. If I do this, this could happen. But if I go here, this is what takes place. How do I distinguish or discern what should I do? Right? Distinction. Okay, noun of state from past participle stem of discernere, to separate, distinguish, or to discern. So discretion goes back to the word to discern, which means to distinguish or to separate. So you have discernment in all of your actions. You walk with a sense of discernment. Okay, but the discernment and the discretion that we walk with is within the scriptures. All right. So let's grab a couple precepts here. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, because we're living in times where, the enemy, Esau, Edom, which is being controlled by the spiritual demon Satan, is putting all kinds of pitfalls and all kinds of traps and all kinds of things, in our paths to see who was going to be snared. Okay, but Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, as it is written in John the 10th chapter, that none can be plucked out of the Lord's hand. So the elect are going to walk with a sense of discretion and a sense of discernment, all right, within this world. Okay, it gives you a game on how to navigate and how to move. Okay, the reason why people don't, the reason why the world, I rather say, doesn't really necessarily, move in the right way is because they have no discretion. And they're walking according to their own tune. They're not walking in tune with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So it's talking about our people, right? So this is Proverbs chapter 2, verse 10, right? So it says, when wisdom entereth into thine heart. Now, what is wisdom? Let's just pull it real quick, just so we can break down everything, right? What is wisdom? Okay. It says, actually, let's get Proverbs 3. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Is it Proverbs 3? Hold on. Might be 4. Let me see. Just type it in. Because there's a particular scripture that I'm looking for. Here you go, Proverbs 9. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. It says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. So the beginning of being wise is to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So in order to walk in the fear of the Lord, all right, is to do the things that the Lord requires for us to do. Okay, so with your actions that you make, okay, as the scripture says, let me see if I can, let me just finish this up first, actually. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Having knowledge of the holy is what? Understanding what is written within Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's word, knowing his law, statutes, and commandments, walking in the fear of the Lord. Okay, because the scripture says that it was just at the tip of my tongue, driveth away sins. Let me see. Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 21. It says, the fear of the Lord driveth away sin. So how does the fear of the Lord drive away sin? What is sin? Okay, sin is transgression of the law, 1 John 3 and 4. So if the fear of the Lord driveth away sins, you will think before you act. You will think before you speak. You will think, okay, with the fear of the Lord that I have, let me make sure that my response is going to be pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in my speech. Let me make sure my steps are going to be pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in my actions so that I'm not going to sin. Okay. Now, are we still going to sin in these bodies? Yes, we will. Okay. The body is subject, all right, to vanity. Okay. We're not perfect in the law. We're not going to, we can't follow all 613 laws, statutes, and commandments perfectly, but we can acknowledge and be aware, okay, of our actions. Okay. Now that's why it is important to read the law, to see particular things that, that you can, there's particular things that you can't control, but there's particular things that you can, like a man, for example, growing his beard, or the dietary law, things that you eat to the best of your ability. Now, are you going to go to the grocery store and just buy a pack of pork chops and be like, hey, well, we're under grace. Well, we can't keep the law perfectly. No. If you can grow a beard, are you just going to be cutting your beard? Hey, well, you can't keep the law perfectly here in Babylon. No. You're going to grow your beard, man. So on and so forth. Okay. There's particular things that you can control. All right. But there's particular things that you can't. So it says the fear of the Lord driveth away sins, right? And where it is present, where the fear of the Lord is present, it turneth away wrath. You see? So having that fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, that's what turns away the wrath of the Lord, because what? You're operating in what the Lord wants you to do versus what you want to do. Okay, so going back, Proverbs chapter 2, verse 10, when wisdom entereth, we just broke down what wisdom is, which is the fear of the Lord. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, your mind, right? The fear of the Lord drives away sins, right? And knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul. And what is knowledge? Knowledge is the application of the wisdom. Okay, wisdom is the application of the knowledge that you obtain, which is written within the scriptures. I said it backwards, Salakia. Wisdom is the application of the knowledge which you learn within the scriptures. And you use the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures in your daily life, right? Verse 11, discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee. See that? It says discretion is going to preserve you, as it says here in the NLT. Wise choices will watch over you. Understanding will keep you safe. You see, making wise choices, right, will watch over your steps, man, at making a wise choice. If you see a woman that has a man, or a woman has a man and she's walking up on you, or whatever the case may be, or you see her and she has a man, are you going to go approach that woman and try to talk to her? No. Why? Because the law tells you not to commit adultery. That would be committing adultery. That's a wise decision, because what is the penalty of committing adultery? You could be put to death. Things like that. That's just an example. Okay. This is Proverbs. Majority of these precepts are going to be in Proverbs and Psalms, just to let y'all know. This is Proverbs chapter 6, verse 22. It says, when thou goest, right? When thou goest, when you walk, right? It shall lead thee. Talking about, like it tells you in verse 20 and 21, my son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. Now, that's a twofold scripture going into honoring your mother and your father. Okay, but also too going into keeping the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Bind them continually upon thine heart, which is your mind, right? You bind his words within your mind. And the only way that you can do that is to meditate upon his word continually, which is what we should be doing. And tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. You see, so when we walk in this world that's full of sin, walking in this world that's full of, evil, it will lead us. The scripture says in Proverbs 6 and 23 that the law is a lamp. Okay, we live in a dark world. We live in a dark society. Okay, well, with us living in this dark world, we have the light of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua that guides us in the proper direction, right? When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. Pretty much what that's saying is that pretty much the laws, statutes, and commandments, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua will lead us in our daily lives. All right, the decisions that we make should be all based upon the fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, will this decision that I make, will this affect the body? Would this, put the body of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua into jeopardy, whatever the case may be? Is this pleasing to the Lord? Which takes it takes discernment. It takes judging particular scenarios or situations, which is what you should do. Somebody tells you that you shouldn't be judging is completely stupid. I'll just say it like that. Okay. When somebody tells you, why are you judging, or, you need to judge. Okay. Hell, you got judges, so-called judges in the world, that their title is a judge that makes a distinction in a decision. Okay. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 6. It says, forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Talking about wisdom. Wisdom is likened unto a feminine spirit. Now, is wisdom a feminine spirit? No, wisdom is, it nurtures you. Okay. So it says, forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Preserve is another way of saying to protect you or to save you. Okay. Meaning before, serve is serve, right? Shamar, watch. Guard. You see, so wisdom guards us. Wisdom watches over us. Okay. And what is wisdom? Wisdom is the fear of the Lord, right? So going back, Proverbs 4 and 6, it says, forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, right? And what is love? Love is keeping of the commandments. 2 John, the 6th chapter, 2 John, verse 6. Okay. Having discipline. It takes discipline to do particular things, right? So it says, love her, and she shall keep thee. She'll watch you, right? Wisdom is the principal thing. So wisdom, which is the fear of the Lord, is the beginning. It's the principal thing. That's the chief thing, right? Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. You see, so what is wisdom? The fear of the Lord. Understanding is to depart from evil. Okay, departing from evil things, departing from things that Yahweh B'Shem Shai doesn't want you to do, and making a conscience effort to do it. Okay, not necessarily just reading about it and just talking about it, but actually doing it, because, experience is the greatest teacher. When you go through particular things, it's easier to tell somebody how it's easier to teach somebody how to go through something when you've already gone through it. See, this is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 23. Start at verse 21. It says, my son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Talking about wisdom. Okay, the commandments, laws, statutes, and commandments, and the wisdom of the Lord. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. You got to keep it with you. Hang on to it. Like as it says there in the NLT, hang on to them. So keep sound wisdom and discretion. Sound wisdom. What does sound mean? Sound wisdom. That word sound wisdom here, which is really just wisdom, it's tawashya. Okay. That word is tawashya. And that word there means sound, efficient wisdom. See? And the efficient wisdom comes by way of the scriptures. This is efficient, top knowledge level wisdom that we have here, right? So it says, keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. See that? Keeping the sound wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Shai will be life unto our soul. It'll be grace unto our neck. See that? And we're all seeking for grace at the end of the day, right? Verse 23, then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. You see, so if we keep sound wisdom and understanding, right? If we keep sound wisdom and discretion, it'll make sure that we will walk in our ways safely. Why would you be walking safely? How? Because you're making conscious decisions. Okay, you're making decisions that are pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Okay, the scripture says that the angels of the Lord encampeth round about them whom he loves, and them that fear the Lord. So what? The angels will be guiding our steps. The reason why these people are walking in the tune that they're walking in is because there's no fear. There's no fear of the Lord. They have no discretion. They don't have no understanding of what's right and what's wrong. So they're just walking according to the imagination of their own hearts, which is why people getting dusted off and jacked up to this day, man. It says, then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. See that? When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. See that? Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. See, you're not going to fear. You know, you're not going to fear of the judgments. I mean, of course, you fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, but you're not going to fear the judgments of the Lord if you're, you know, to the best of your ability and sincerity and the truth, you know, doing the things that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is pleased with. Okay? This is Psalm 17, verse 4. It says, concerning the works of men, right? It says, concerning the works of men, by the words of thy lips, which is written within the scriptures, the words of the Lord, the words of the Lord's lips are written within the scripture. By the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. Let's read that again. Let's actually read it in NLT. I have followed your commands, which keep me from following cruel and evil people, because there's all kinds of, you know, like I said, pitfalls. There's all kinds of conniving, deceitful, you know, motives of people out there, you know, that want to get you to go into the wrong way. Like the scripture says, my son, when sin is enticed thee, consent thou not. Why won't you consent? Because you make a distinction between the things that they're saying and the things that they want to do, and lining up with the law, statutes, and commandments with the scriptures. Be like, no, because this is wickedness. See, so it keeps you from the path of the destroyer, which we already know what the destroyer is. It's in Psalm 37, verse 24. It's like it's Psalm 37, verse 24. Let me turn this on. All right, Psalm 37, verse 24. It says, let me start at verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh. Let's read that. Let's get this word ordered. It says the steps of a good man is ordered by Yahweh. That word ordered is kawan. All right, kawan. And Psalm 17. Actually, I'm sorry, Psalm 37, 23. It says, from Yahweh are a man's steps established, which cuts that whole free will thing, by the way, too. So it says, by the Lord is a man's steps established, made firm. They're prepared. See? The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, and he delighteth in his way. You see? He delighteth in his way. Okay? And the Lord will delight in our way, and he will give us the right path to take if we're being obedient unto him. We're using discretion, right? Verse 24. Though he fall, which a righteous man falls 7 times, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. You see? So if you fall, you're not going to fall to be destroyed. You're not going to be utterly cast down. For Yahweh upholdeth him with his hand. You see, the Lord ultimately keeps you in his hand, as I mentioned in John the 10th chapter. Okay, none of the elect can be plucked out of the Lord's hand. Ultimately, if you fall, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai will raise you up. See that? This is Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9. It says, he that walketh uprightly walketh surely. See, you have a sure foundation and you have a sure way of how you're moving. You that word surely is batach. Okay, batach. And that word surely here means security. You see that? Maybe we walk with a sense of knowing that we have security in our steps. Securely, you see, quietness and security. Securely. Being secure means being safe. He that walketh uprightly walketh safely. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation, right? But he that perverteth his ways shall be known. You see? Eventually, if you pervert your ways and you try to go up another kind of way, you proud, you twisting your way to seek love or whatever the case may be. It says, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. Okay. Because how are you're gonna be known by way of your fall. See, you're gonna be known when the Lord casts you down, right? This is Psalm. Just get two more because I gotta wrap it up. Psalm 119, verse 11. It says, thy word have I hid in mine heart. See, your mind, that I might not sin against thee. Let's read that again. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. And the way to hide the words, the word of the Lord in your heart is to study. Study to show yourself approved. Blessed is he that readeth. The only way that you're going to know the Lord's word is if Yahweh Shema Shai, first and foremost, is supping with you. All right. And he he keeps the spirit on you to learn his word. Constantly keep learning, constantly keep reading. Right. So that your steps are made proper. See? And this is verse 24. And we'll end it off on this one. Thy testimonies also are my delight in my counselors. The testimonies of the Lord are our counselors, man. They give us a counselor, somebody that gives you advice on how to move. That's why the scripture says that the things that were written aforetime are written for our learning. So let's read that again. Thy testimonies also are my delight and my counselors. And what are the testimonies of the Lord? Testimonies is Ida. Okay, Ida. And that word testimonies here means plural testimonies. Always of laws as divine testimonies or solemn charges. All right, the precepts. Through thy precepts I get understanding. And what is understanding? Job 28:28. To depart from evil is understanding. So it says always of laws as divine testimonies, right? Or solemn charges. Okay? You walk with a sense of judgment and you walk with a sense of discretion, which goes in making the separation or distinguishment, right? Based upon what is right and what is wrong. And you figure out what's right and what's wrong in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, by reading his word. You figure out what the Lord likes and what the Lord doesn't like. You do what the Lord likes and you disregard what the Lord doesn't like. And walking in that way gives you discretion, which ultimately will preserve you, which we're trying to be preserved. Hopefully we're of the elect, because at the end of the day, the elect are the only preserved ones. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and others, the great millstone, and taught us this truth, and much peace, love, and salutation to the elect. Shalom.